Welcome to True Life TV, and this is the Answers program. Hi, I'm Richard Boyd.
And I'm John Dean.
And we are here to try and answer some questions.
Yes.
Do we always get it right?
No.
But we try our best.
Yes, we do.
And with the experience, I want to say this, with experience and the years of ministry that John Dean has had, I know that God has given him some revelation, insight into this. Here's a question. Now, this is for the ministry.
Okay.
A pastor asked a question. And basically, it's very simple. He has a lot of young men in his church. But for some reason, he doesn't seem to be able to get them to be motivated. They come to church, of course. They're faithful. They're not running around with a bunch of girls, at least not blatantly. But the point what he says, they just doesn't seem to be able to, no matter what he does. He's had men's meetings, and I've even gone down to church and spoke. Yes. And they get excited for a few weeks, and then back to the norm. Would you have some enlightenment on that in the Lord?
Well, I think this is evidence of a deeper problem. We have a core problem here, and we've had for a number of years. We've had a problem with moms and dads being truly committed,
right,
to showing up on time, to paying their tithes, and working in the church. We've had a problem for several years. Now, the fact that these young men are not faithful, they get hot for God and then they get cold, I think it's just evidence of a deeper problem. Now, what do you do about it? I think the only thing that you can do, Brother Boyd, is to begin to personally disciple these young men. It may be one-on-one. It may be you may have two or three,
right,
or whatever.
In a much smaller group
a much smaller group, and begin to disciple them out of a core problem.
Okay.
And bring them into a true, deep love for God, and a love for the Word, and a love for the work. So that would be my suggestion.
I think that's a great suggestion. So that one-on-one, just like Jesus did,
yes,
discipling them instead of trying.
Yes.
We have a tendency sometimes in the church, I know even pastorally, of trying to do it all.
Yes,
and just taking that moment and taking them one-on-one. And I really pray that's a good answer. I know there are some pastors out there who might be watching this and are going through the same thing.
Yes,
not even with single men, but just men on the average, and just really spend that time. Now that will take some time, won't it?
It'll take a lot of time, but I'll tell you, the prize is worth the price.
Right.
Because you're not building just for the moment, just for a program. You're building for the kingdom. Because everything that you put into those young men right now is going to pay big dividends out of the kingdom later, and so it's worth the cost.
Amen. Look, I know we want our churches to grow. Hey, you understand over the years, we all do. But that one-on-one that Jesus did, can't be taken away. It's still there.
Well, we as Jesus taught the disciples, I mean, those guys, probably most of them didn't have any discipline at all, but he chose them as a picture for us for a time just like this with these young men that you're talking about. So as Jesus took them and he began to bring them into a knowledge of the greatness of God the Father through signs and wonders and learning those types of things, now, boy, that'll get you burning right there, and that's what we need to do. Now, it's going to cost us something. It's going to cost us something. But why are we in the ministry if it's not to build for the future?
Right. Wow. What more can I say to that? This has been Answers, and I just pray that you have got some answers to your questions, and keep them coming in, because we're going to make this effort and get them out to you as the Lord begins to give us the insight in those areas. Well, this is Richard Boyd.
And I'm John Dean.
And we'll see you next time on Answers on TrueLifeTV.com.
Amen.